Welcome to class, everyone. I'm Dr. Schmidt, and I'm looking forward to working with each of you. Curriculum design and learning outcomes are important in education. However, a lot of faculty sometimes feel a little overwhelmed when they think of having to update or change their curriculum. So this class is going to help you to focus on the historical and contemporary forces that impact curriculum design. And we're also going to explore the relationship between learning theories and taxonomies and nursing curriculum. We're going to evaluate curricular goals and objectives as they relate to curriculum design. And then we're going to discuss applying accreditation standards to a curriculum. So the very first thing that I'd really like you to do is to review some of the course documents that are on the Moodle website. So these include, number one, let's go over the course syllabus. When you go through the course syllabus, you're going to see the learning outcomes for the course. You're going to see that there is one text that's required, and it's important that you get that because there will be assignments for each module from that text. And then there's information on course activities. So these are just some general guidelines for the weekly assignments. There's required practice experiences. So this class does require 30 hours, and 8 of those are precepted hours. There's also a final project. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, but just be aware that you'll have a final project. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the assignment rubric. Now, the course syllabus just references the rubric, but you'll actually find the rubric in the college syllabus. So what I do ask all students to do is print that off and follow it very closely, because I will use that to grade all of your assignments, including the final assignment. So be sure you follow the rubric for the assignment that you're going to complete, because I really hate to see students lose points for an assignment when it was clearly written in your rubric and you could have gained those points. And then the last thing in the course syllabus I'd like you to look at is the final grade calculations. And also note that you must pass your practice experience in order to pass this class. Next, you'll see the college syllabus. So that's the next link on the website. And this just has basic policies and procedures in there. You'll see information on plagiarism and self-plagiarism. You'll see course expectations, and I'd like you to review those course expectations, but a couple that I just want to point out are that the week does run from Monday at 8 a.m. and ends the following Sunday at 11:59 p.m., and these are all Eastern Standard Time. You do need to post a minimum of 2 days, which I think is pretty consistent with all of your courses. Your initial posts must be posted on Wednesday by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the thing that I do try to ask students to do is to post early. The earlier you post, it really helps to enhance a lot of the discussions. And I realize not everybody can post early every week, but if you can, by all means, do try to post before that 11:59 time on Wednesday. If there are any questions asked of you, please be sure that you answer them. And remember, there is a word count on your responses. So your initial post and your response post have a minimum word count. Be aware of those. Most students do great in the beginning, but then as you kind of get tired as the term goes on, it gets a little bit shorter. So just be sure that you don't get too short where you lose points because of the word count. And then there's also a grading policy and a discussion rubric in the college syllabus here. So this is, as I mentioned earlier, where you're going to find the grading rubric and print that off. Next, on the website, you're going to see the practice experience information, and there really is a lot of detailed information with required due dates. Read that over. There's a link there also that says required PE document. It's the required PE documents that are under that link. You'll find the DMP Quick Start Guide, and you'll also find the practice experience reflection form that will be due week 8. There's also a lot of other forms under that link, but they're the two I wanted to point out, and just be sure that you do take a look at that. And then one last thing on your practice experiences is that there is also a lot of information in Module 1. So there are specific things that are due in Module 1. Be sure that you follow through with those so that they are completed no later than week 2. There's an announcement link, and I will send class updates as needed. Usually just whatever I feel is important, I will post there. But then the next link on this web page is called the Course Help link. And I really believe that this is an important and underused, valuable link. This can be used if you're in the middle of doing an assignment or doing one of your discussion questions, and all of a sudden you have a question about maybe what the interpretation of how you're supposed to do that is, and you can post your question under this Course Help link, and then anyone who sees the question can answer it. Of course, I will monitor this, but you may come up with a question after I've signed off and I'm not going to be online until the next day. One of your peers can take a look at it and say, oh, I've done that. I can help out and can post a response. So please be sure to post questions under the Course Help, and feel free to help one another with questions here. So then the rest of the website is just mainly the modules. There's 8 modules. You'll see that there's weekly assignments, there's discussion questions, and then there may be additional assignments, and of course your final project will be listed under the appropriate module. So I think this is probably enough information for now. Do take a look at these documents. Let me know if you have any questions, and I really do look forward to working with everyone. So have a great week.